Hi, welcome to Rifleman Reloaded. Today we're going to be discussing a little bit brief history of this beauty right here, the 1911. 1911 is a very popular firearm all across the world actually. And today I just want to go over a little bit of history of it. And we're going to make a 1911 series, pretty much maintenance, breakdown, future episodes on this platform as well as other platforms coming soon. So, 1911 was made by John Moses Browning. Now, Browning was a genius, okay? Now, there's a little bit of confusion when it comes to 1911. Some people say, oh, you know, it's a big, bulky gun, it's heavy. That's true, okay? But I carry the 1911, and I can tell you the action on an everyday basis, and I can tell you the pros and cons of this firearm. So, this was originally designed in 1911, given its name, okay? But the military, the 1911A1, didn't come out until 1924, okay? In 1924, this is where this was beginning to be adopted into the military. Now, back in the day, believe it or not, before inflation, this pistol would cost an average of $26 and some change, depending on where you go. Okay, now you're looking at, for a cheaper 1911, you're looking between $500 at a gun show, and then get expensive into the thousands for your custom-made ones. This right here is a Springfield Armory mil-spec, and we're going to talk a little bit more about her. Okay, so the 1911 was produced originally in 1911 and still being produced today by multiple manufacturers: Springfield Armory, Kimber, Rock Island. The number built is in the millions, 2.3 million if I'm not mistaken. They have multiple variants such as the M1911A1, the M1911A2, the Grand Browning, RA Officer, Kongsberg Colt, MEU pistol. They have the Rangemaster. This is Springfield Armory Rangemaster, which is a very popular one actually. I wouldn't mind getting one. But we're going to talk about how the service life was also with this firearm. All right, so on the service side, this was obviously used in World War I, World War II, the Banana Wars, which was actually between World War I and World War II, was most of the Marine Corps on that one. The Korean War, Vietnam, the First Indonesia War, and outside the country, it was in the Finnish Civil War, the Chaco War. If I mispronounced that, I apologize. The Constitutionalist Revolution, and no, we're not talking about the American Revolution, because that was way a long time ago. Those are your flintlock musket days. The Chinese Civil War, the First Indonesia War, the Algerian War, the list goes on, the Cuban Revolution even. So this thing has a lot of history. And unfortunately, this firearm was replaced in the service by the Beretta M9 in 1985, which converted from the 45mm to the 9mm. Now the 45 is no joke. It's a slow-moving round. That is true. It's a stubby little guy, and we'll throw a picture here. Stubby little bullet, okay? Compared to a 22 LR, compared to a 9mm, but slow. So it's more of a train hitting you instead of like a 9mm per se that just pokes into you really deep and fast. Now the 1911 has multiple issues and has some interesting positives. Okay, so for example, the operation that this uses is a short recoil operation. It's not like a gas impingement system whatsoever. The effective range for this firearm is around 50 meters, which is equivalent to like 150, 160 feet. The magazines, this is where people start getting pushed away from the 1911. Now, I'm not here to bribe you to get one or buy one, but it won't be if you're a collector, it's never a bad idea to pick one up for your collection, even though it might not be like an original like Colt, but just to have. It's a piece of Americana. So, magazines. So we got a couple magazines here, and I will throw an image up with each one as we go through them. So we'll start off with the stock magazine. This is a Springfield Armory 7-round magazine. This is what comes with your 1911, is a 7-rounder. Unless you get some sort of deluxe dealer package, you get multiple magazines or different quantities, but this is a 7-rounder. It flits flush with magazine well. It's really nice. Then we have what I call my favorite, which is my Everyday Carry magazine. And this is the EDC one I have. This is made by Metgar. It's an 8-rounder. I get just one additional round, but you still have that nice little bottom here, which sits flush with my 1911. Every 1911, maybe not all 1911s are the same, like manufacturer-wise, so this might stick out a little bit more on your 1911 than it does mine. Mine's a Springfield Armory. You might have something like Kimber. And the Big Daddy. This is by Wilson Combat. I bought this back in 2014, 2015. This is a 10-round magazine. It's pretty big. And just to let you know, this firearm is unloaded. Made sure before I started filming. And if you see here, it sticks out pretty far. So keep that in mind. You have your stock magazine, sits flush. Then you have my favorite magazine, the Metgar, which is 8 rounds. Kind of got a little bit of access, but kind of still looks nice. Still flush with the hand grip. So, or the pistol grip. So, yeah. Now, a lot of people are steered away from 1911 because of the quantity that the magazine carries. Let's just say it's a standard stock, so you're looking at 7 rounds. You know, they might get pushed towards more of something that holds a higher capacity, such as maybe a Glock. Okay, Glock 9mm, what, 15-round magazines? Yeah, that's a lot. A wise man told me if you need more than 10 bullets, you're in a really bad scenario already. So don't take that to heart. This is just my opinion, and you're entitled to yours. Now, 1911 does have some accessories, and we're going to get to the pros and cons of that. Now, the pros of the 1911 accessory-wise is not a lot. Okay, so overall, this is pretty much your stock option. They do have multiple 1911s that have a Picatinny rail on the very bottom, so you can install a flashlight or some sort of laser or whatever floats your boat. You can switch out the barrel with a threaded barrel if you're rocking a suppressor. I think that's pretty cool. Reminds me of the game Hitman. So, and you have your magazine accessories. Of course, you can interchange these grips with a lot of aftermarket ones. I mean, Amazon has a ton and eBay has a shit ton. You can get them in almost any kind of design you want. If you want like World War II pinup art, they got it. You want gold, they got it. You want like maple, they got it. Maple meaning the wood, not the actual syrup. So there's that. Now let's talk about holsters. Okay, I only have a couple options. I have 3, but I can't find the other one. Forgive me. So right here I have a reproduction World War II tanker, Army tanker 1911 holster. Simply goes over the shoulder, sits nice and flush. There's a loop here. This will be tied to your belt, or actually your belt goes through it, and you just keep your 1911 holstered on your side. It's actually very comfortable. And winter, this is what I used recently to conceal carry, and it was comfortable carrying a brick. So keep that in mind. And if you're not into shoulder holsters, well, I have a waistband holster made by Max Carry. It's actually really nice. It's really good for your 1911. Sits nice and flush. So, I mean, this is a heavy pistol, so make sure you wear a belt. A very good belt. Not a cheapie. So, going back a little bit, we're talking about the history of the 1911. John Browning did a good job. People might know John Browning from other manufacturer or other firearms that he made and helped invent. From the U.S. 1919 air-cooled recoil-operated machine gun. That's pretty cool. World War I, you're looking more like your water-cooled recoil operated machine gun. So. And then there's the US M4, and no, not to be confused with the AR-15 or M16 variant. We're talking about, something that uses 223, 5, and 6. John Browning made something that was called the US M4, which was chambered in 37mm. So, and of course, we all love, the news, the M250 cal machine gun. We still use that still today. So his legacy is still lasting even to this day. Now, John Browning, he was born and raised in Utah, okay? So Utah is far away from where I'm at. But There's other World War II guns you might know them for, which the Browning automatic rifle, the BAR, BAR. That was pretty much, in my opinion, this is my opinion, don't quote me on this, I believe that was the first squad automatic weapon in World War II. So the Browning 22 semi-auto rifle, which probably a lot of people don't know what that is. But overall, the 1911 is a very historical piece, has a lot of history to it. If you can find one from World War I or World War II, it's going to be a rattle can, or even Vietnam. But they're clean pistols. They really are. I like to carry mine. I know the disadvantages of it, but I do know the advantages of it. There's a whole little joke story. If you use 9mm, you have to use double tap, which I believe was made by England. That theory, double tap, 2 shots. 1911, you just need 1 shot. They're going down. They're gonna hit by a truck, for crying out loud. It's a big bullet. So now when it comes to ballistics and body armor, we're not gonna get into that today. I'm gonna tell you straight off the bat, I don't believe the 45. I mean, it's a low velocity round. It's not going to penetrate much of any kind of body armor. Unless you make it yourself, then anything's possible. But don't do that at home. So where 9mm is more successful going through plate carriers, but we don't have the guy here to talk about that today. It's just me. Sorry about the delay in the episodes. Fortunately, everyone, Thanksgiving came. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. It's that one holiday where you can sit down and argue with your family about politics and sports. It's such a great holiday, and eat a great meal. We all have jobs, we work, we all have families that we need to attend to, so we kind of do this when we have open availability, and I had open availability, so here we go. Now, if you're looking for a lighter firearm to conceal carry, I would steer clear from this. This is very heavy. They do have different types of 1911s. They have 1911s that are full size, which is what this is right here. They have compact ones. Now, the compact ones you're looking at, God, I think it was, bear with me. Okay, so the barrel length is going to determine what size of 1911 you get. It's still a heavy pistol. It's not going to really shave off a lot of weight, but for concealability, it's not a bad option. You have your 5-inch standard, which is what a full size is. This is what I have. You have your commander model, which is a 4¼ inch barrel, roughly. Then you have the officer model, which is about 3½ inches. So there you go. Now, a buddy of mine just picked up a 1911 not too long ago. He loves it. He's in love with it. He's learning more about it. So hopefully, he's checking this video out. So he knows a little bit about the back history of this firearm. So other than that, that's pretty much it. I do want to talk a little bit more about the channel, though. So there are going to be changes being made on the channel. And it's for the best. It's for the better. This behind me of the world map is going to be different. It's going to be a different kind of background. A lot of things are in the works at this moment. So stay tuned for that. When you check out one, you'll check out a new episode. It should be all done behind me. Now, the shorts will still continue and TikTok will still continue as well. But we have a couple episodes lined up. We have the EDC episode, which is Everyday Carry. That's going to be a fun one to do. We're going to have the AK versus the AR-15 platform, which I am really excited for because I'm an AK lover. And for good reason. So, stay tuned for those episodes. We have a military surplus raffle coming in. I'll give you a hint. It's Russian. So stay tuned for the next episode. Appreciate you guys tuning in, watching this. I hope you learned something interesting about this pistol. We are going to make a series for each weapon that we do, such as, breaking it down, and also maintenance and cleaning and all the fun stuff about owning firearms and preventing this thing called rust and negligence and ignorance. Maybe that's a little bit too far. But anyways, catch you guys next time. Thank you guys again for checking this episode out, and I will see you guys soon.